Hello guys, Might is back with another video, and today we are on problem 6. And today's problem is to find the difference between the sum of the squares of the first 100 numbers and the square of the sum. So that's what we'll be looking at today, and let's go to the problem definition. But before we do that, for the new guys, if you haven't already subscribed, please click on the subscription button below and don't forget to hit the bell so you get notified whenever I release a new video. I'm releasing a video every day, so let's go. The problem definition states the sum of the squares of the first 10 natural numbers is 1 squared plus 2 squared plus a whole other set of squares between this plus 10 squared, which is 385. The square of the sum of the first 10 natural numbers is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 up until 10. And then you square in the end, and then you get 55 squared, which is 3025. Hence, the difference between the sum of the squares of the first 10 natural numbers and the square of the sum is 3025 minus 385, which is 2640. Find the difference between the sum of the squares of the first 100 natural numbers and the square of the sum. What we need to do is we need to find the square of the sum and the sum of the squares. So we'll write those two functions and we'll subtract the results together. So let's write the first one. I'll start off with the sum of the squares. So I'll call that function sum squares. So we'll be summing the squares. So we want to give our function a number up to where we'll be summing. So we'll take in that number and then we'll loop through up until that number and add the squares of those numbers. So we'll start off from 1. So let I equals to 1 and I less than equals to max I plus plus. And then here we'll need to add our i's as we go. So let's keep track of our sum. So I'll declare our sum outside of the loop and give it the value 0 to start off with, and then we'll add the sum. So we're using the plus equals syntax. So I'll add I times I, which is the square of I. So this is I times I is just the same as I squared, and then outside I will return the sum. So now let's test it out. Let's just use 10 and see if we get 385 for that. So let me console log that. So I'll console log this guy, and then we want to check the sum of the first 10 and see what the answer is. So, and we get 385, which is what they got there when they were summing the first 10 squares. So now what we need to do is to get the square of the sum. So we get the square of the sum by doing almost the same thing, but we do not square it in here. We only square it at the end. So I'll just copy this function because it's almost the same, and I will reverse. So this is this way. So instead of getting I squared out in our loop, we actually just need to square the resulting sum. That's the squared sum. So we will check what we get when we use 10 for this one. So we should get 3025 for that, which is what we get over here. And the question requires us to get the difference for the first 100 natural numbers. So our answer will just be, I'll say difference there, which is that of 100 minus that of 100. That should be our difference. So that's the result of subtracting the two together. So let's go test this out and see if this is actually the right solution for us. If you haven't already logged in, I've already logged in. So if you haven't already logged in, just log in so you can get to answer the question. And let's see what that is. And that is the correct answer. So if you feel like there's a better way to do this, just comment down below, and let's share the solution with the community. So let's go. Today was a short video because it's maybe we're getting the hang of things, and maybe the problem is just easier than the first one. So I don't know, but I feel like the question is much easier than the first five that we saw. So, but at the same time, we are also improving in our coding. So it might be a combination of both. So I'll see you in the next video.